Hi guys and welcome back. This week we'll be discussing 5 tips for hiking in the rain. Tip 1 is use a rain cover. You can grab one of these separately to your bag. Some bags do come with them. And more importantly than that, get one that fits. So rain covers come in different sizes because rucksacks come in different sizes. I've just got 2 here for you. We've got a 10 to 20 litre. And we've also got a 75 to 110. There are obviously some sizes in between that we haven't got here today. If you get one that's too small, obviously it's not going to fit over your pack, and then you're going to have exposed rucksack. It's just going to allow the water to seep in. If you get one that's too big, this is going to act just like a massive kite. It's going to catch all of the wind and the air, and it's going to feel like you're pulling along a big old inflated kite behind you. So it's going to slow you down and make walking a lot more effort. So getting one of these is really good. It's going to protect all your kit. It's going to protect your bag and stop your bag getting wet and heavy. But like I said, importantly, get one that fits. If this fits, you'll never know it's there. If it doesn't fit, it could be more of a hindrance than it's worth. Tip 2. So tip 2 is to waterproof yourself both inside and out. We've obviously just discussed having a rain cover for the outside of your bag. That stops the bag getting soaking wet and getting heavier. It also protects some of the contents. The next thing to do would be to dry bag the stuff inside your bag. You know what they say? 2 is 1, 1 is none. So having a backup is always a really good option. This is going to make sure that everything is 100% dry inside your bag. And as long as you don't submerge these in water for a long period of time, everything in there should be dry. 2 ways to do this. Way 1, line the entire bag. So you get a dry bag that fits the size of your bag. So if you've got a 35 litre rucksack, a 35 litre dry bag is the one to go. You basically line the rucksack and put everything you need inside that dry bag. The other option is to get individual dry bags. As I mentioned in the previous video that will just show up here, getting different colour ones is a really nice way of organising your kit. So you can have different colours associated with different things. It means that when you're in your tent, you're cold, you're tired, you can grab exactly what you need without having to go through all these dry bags. So if you had like 5 or 6 black ones, you have to keep pulling them out, checking what's inside it. Colour coding your stuff just makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker. Tip number 3, make your food and water accessible. There's nothing worse than when you're already soaking wet, you've got to keep stopping to take your rucksack off to get some food or some water. Once you stop and your body stops moving, you're going to get cold very quick, especially if you're wet. So having food that's easily accessible on the go as well as water is a real lifesaver. When it comes to food, you have 2 hip belts on most sort of long distance packs. These are great places to put snacks. You can also put them in the top of your bag so you can reach back and get them while you're moving. When it comes to water, a lot of bags nowadays have a side access bottle holder, so you can just take out a Nalgene bottle or a plastic water bottle and drink on the go. But a lot of people are also opting for a reservoir, which will come down a hose on your strap, and you can just access it on the go as you need it. Having things in a nice, accessible place is always a lifesaver when it comes to camping. But having your food and water nice and easy to get to when you're walking, especially in the rain, means you don't have to stop for as long and you won't get as cold. So make sure you've got your food in a nice, easy place to get to, and make sure you've got your water accessible as well. Tip number 4 is think about what you're wearing. And we're not just talking about waterproofs, as in waterproof jackets and trousers. That's an obvious. If it's going to be wet and rainy, make sure you've packed those. And if it's going to look like it's going to be wet in the next 30 minutes, make sure you get them on before you get soaking wet underneath. What we're actually talking about here is what you're wearing underneath your waterproofs and the materials you're using. Try and avoid cotton and denim. When they get wet, they get very heavy, so it's very uncomfortable to wear for long periods of time. And they also get they cool you off a lot quicker. So if you get wet and they hold that water, your body temperature is going to drop considerably. Instead of going for denim or cotton, try and move to synthetic base layers and also merino wool base layers. These wick away moisture a lot quicker, so they dry a lot quicker, but they also don't cool your body temperature down, and they're not really heavy when they're wet. And like I said, if you pop them at the bottom of your sleeping bag at the end of your walk, they will start to dry off for the morning, and you should have a relatively dry set of clothes the next day. The 5th and final tip is walking poles. You're going to hear a lot more about walking poles in a future video, so I'm not going to bore you too much with them, but walking poles are an absolute lifesaver in the rain, and this is very much for stability. When you're coming down some mountain tracks and you've got wet, slippy rock, although your boots are great for grip, they're not always ideal for wet conditions, so having a pair of walking poles will help keep you steady and stop you from hurting yourself in wet conditions. They're great to lean on and balance on when you're coming down hills, and also great for getting in front of you and helping pull yourself up. They're spreading the load from your legs up into your arms as well, so it'll take a little bit of the pressure off your lower body. Like I said, we're going to mention all this in a future video. We're going to go into a bit more into depth on using walking poles and why they're beneficial to everyone. But in wet conditions, they'll help you remain a lot more stable, and they'll also help out in terms of getting up and down steep terrain. Great, well that was 5 quick tips on how to hike in the rain. I hope that's been beneficial for you. If you haven't already, remember to like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers, guys.